Good evening on this Wellness Wednesday. I am going to be talking to you tonight. Just checking if I'm on Facebook as well. Yes, I am. So I'm going to be talking to you tonight. Hi, Jessica. On the subject of menopause and how just a few little tweaks to your diet can really, really help you. Nicola, hello. I'm on Instagram and Facebook here. So if I'm looking down here, it's Instagram, and I'm looking up here, it's Facebook. So I have taken everything that I'm sharing tonight from this amazing book by Louise Newson, and it's called Preparing for the Menopause and Menopause. It's a really non-expensive book to buy. I highly recommend reading it, buying it and reading it. You could literally read it in a day. It doesn't have that many pages and it's really easy to read. So yeah, definitely get that. So I'm going to read you the section. I'll kind of go through the section that's all about nutrition. Now, Jessica, who's on the Instagram Live, knows all about nutrition, so I'm sure she probably knows all of this already. But let's get started for those of you who have tuned in, because I'm a little bit late starting. But basically, if you are a lady who is going through the menopause, you will, all being well, be able to take something from this live tonight. So unfortunately, we cannot predict when menopause is going to happen or the symptoms that we personally experience. But the one thing that we are in control of is our diet. Same with every age that we're at. And eating the right types of food can really help to strengthen your bones, your overall health, your weight, everything. It can also help with your cardiovascular system, and it can help regulate your mood. So when you couple these simple little tweaks with daily or regular exercise and a well-balanced diet, it can really help you to maintain a healthy weight during menopause, and also tackle the middle-age spread. That's kind of what it's called, isn't it? But that's what a lot of women experience kind of around their middle area, when metabolism starts to slow down during the menopause. Now, what's happening when your menopause slows is that your body is responding to the falling estrogen levels by trying to build up its own reserves of estrogen in your fat cells, which in my opinion isn't that helpful if you want to be a good weight, but that's what it's doing to protect you. So it's starting to think about your overall diet now. And I don't mean going for a really like crazy quick fix fad diet or being too over worried about your calories or calorie counting, but just looking at vital nutrients and food choices in your diet can really be helpful. And it can really help you to cope with menopause as well and improve your overall health. Now, I firmly believe that by tweaking a few little areas in your diet, simple changes, it can make a massive difference. Quick question for those who are on live. I know there's a couple of people watching on Instagram and also on Facebook in the group. Answer me this question. Are you the type of person who turns to food or drink or alcohol as a source of comfort or a form of reward after a hard day of work, or if you're stressed? Or just give me like a thumbs up or some love hearts if that is you, or comment below. If you are the kind of person who gets really tired and fatigued, does that really cloud your food choices, and do you start to opt for high caffeine drinks or high sugar food to give you that energy boost, or go for something really overprocessed? Nicola says she does. I think most people do, don't they? And if that sounds like you, like I said, most people do experience this. If you are the kind of person who gets home from work, feels really tired, a bit fatigued, a bit achy, the last thing on your mind is probably going to be cooking a really healthy meal. What you really want to do is rely on something completely processed, completely convenient. So it's very fast, very convenient, but it's also high in sugar, high in salt, most likely, high in saturated fats, and it's going to leave you feeling a bit sluggish. And if I'm completely honest, it's probably going to leave you completely unsatisfied once you've had it. Initially, you're going to love it, then you're going to feel unsatisfied. So the sooner that you can understand that food is actually a medicine for your body, the better, because the food choices and nutritional intake that you do on a daily basis, every single day, can make a complete difference to the future of your health. That's not my words. That's obviously from reading books like this and just looking into research in this area. So a good diet is all about variety. It's all about balance. So think about fresh fruits and veggies, or frozen fruits are really good as well, that are really packed with vitamins and nutrients. Whole grain foods, for example, that are really high in fiber, that give you energy. Really good saturated fats like avocado, and really good oils. And if you eat meat, I don't, but if you eat meat, you want to go for the lean meat and wild caught fish. And by the way, these are all the things that are recommended on the Gut Health Reset program that I coach and support people through, that many people do every single week in the UK and across the world, actually. And it's very, very good for your health and fits in with all of this philosophy. So if you are interested in that, comment health. I can tell you some more about that. Okay, now a great place to start when you want to change your nutrition and diet is to think about keeping a food diary, because you'll be really surprised with what you actually eat and drink. The reason why you do this is to assess how varied your diet is. Even if you do it for a couple of days, preferably you want to do it for a bit longer, it's really beneficial, but you need to be honest with what you're actually eating and look for any gaps in your nutrition. So if you are drinking, so for example, make sure you're drinking 6 to 8 glasses of water a day. Make sure you're getting this wide variety of fruits and veggies in all of your meals. And also let yourself know if you have a tendency to snack on processed foods in between your really healthy meals, because you probably don't even realize you do it. In fact, I did it today. I mean, it wasn't that unhealthy, but I did grab a pack of not chips. Gosh, I've forgotten the word. Not nachos. Anyway, they were like Doritos, but they were healthy veggie ones, but they were still a processed snack. And I just munched my way through them whilst I was getting dinner ready and didn't even realize I was doing it. So just make a note of what you're doing, because you won't realize, number one, how many calories you're having, and number two, the stuff that you're eating in between meals when you thought you were being really healthy. So in this book that I've been reading, it covers a few key ingredients that are really important for optimal health, especially for women entering into and in the menopause. So I'm going to quickly cover those for you now. The first is calcium. Now, calcium can really help to maintain your bones. And in fact, I didn't really know this, but 99% of your calcium is stored in your bones. So it's hugely important. It's a hugely important mineral, especially during menopause and post-menopause. When you have a lack of estrogen, this can actually lead to an increased risk of osteoporosis in later life. So guidelines state that women of the ages from 18 up to 64 need about 700 milligrams of calcium a day. You should be able to get that from eating a balanced diet. So the way that you could do that is by having dairy. Now, I don't really have a lot of dairy. In fact, I try to kind of eliminate that as much as possible because it doesn't agree with me. But if you have dairy, it's things like milk and cheese and yogurt. Also, a great source of calcium are green leafy vegetables, also soya beans, nuts, and oily fish. So make sure you're getting those in as much as possible. The next vitamin is vitamin D. Now, this is a really important nutrient because it helps to aid calcium absorption as well as supports your bones as well. But did you know that you get most of the vitamin D from your exposure to sunlight, which in the UK, we don't get as much as maybe other places in the world. And this sunlight contains ultraviolet UVB rays, which usually occur during the summer. So it is recommended that anyone over the age of, now I don't know if I've read this right, but it says in the book, everyone over the age of 1 should get 10 micrograms of vitamin D every single day. So the way that you would get this, and there are relatively few natural sources of vitamin D in your food, but you can find it in egg yolk. You can also find it in some meats, animal fats, things like liver and kidneys, which I used to hate as a child, and oily fish such as salmon and mackerel. But supplements are really important here because Like I said, it's very difficult to obtain enough vitamin D from your diet. It's also impossible to know how much vitamin D someone has made through their skin. So in the UK, it's recommended that everyone over the age of 4 takes a supplement between September and March, which obviously are the months where there's the least sunlight. So I take a wide variety of supplements in this area. You can just buy, if you go onto Amazon, you can buy vitamin D as a supplement on its own. I have this protein, which you've probably seen in some of my recipes, that has got 25% of your daily vitamin D requirement in one serving. So when I have my smoothie in the morning, or I had baked oats this morning, I'm getting 25% of that vitamin D in that. So find something where you can get that vitamin D in. Next one is magnesium. Now, this is a mineral that is used throughout the body, including in our bones. It's also used in our brains and our muscles, and it converts the food that we eat into energy. It also helps to balance our blood sugar and regulate our mood, promotes relaxation, and helps with sleep as well. So it's got a whole variety of good properties. Magnesium is also involved in building stronger bones, as well as being combined with calcium. Now, you may hear my daughter come down in a minute singing. Just heard her door, so she may come down shortly, even though she should be revising. Anyway, the guidelines for magnesium are that an adult woman aged between 19 and 64 needs 270 milligrams of magnesium every day. Now, you can find magnesium again in green leafy vegetables. There's a bit of a theme here. Also in nuts and seeds and things like squashes and whole grain legumes, lentils, pulses. But do bear in mind that alcohol, caffeinated drinks, medications such as antibiotics can really affect the magnesium absorption and also stress levels as well. So do consider taking a really good quality magnesium supplement. I use a couple of things that do contain magnesium. I use this metabolism support, which basically is just a tablet I take twice a day. It does have that in it, and also chromium, which is really good for you. And then I also have this at night, which is called Inner Calm, which is a very calming drink, which helps to calm your mind and helps aid a really great sleep. That's just a drink that I have in the evening, but you can also take magnesium on its own. It also can really reduce the frequency of headaches as well. Sorry, my daughter was calling me. And also migraines too. So, foods with a high GI are the next one. So GI is the Glycemic Index. This is a rating for foods that contain carbohydrates, which is a key source of energy for the body. Food with high GI are digested far more quickly and can cause rapid release of blood glucose. I was talking to somebody about this today, which can cause a sugar high or mood swings. But low GI food, on the other hand, is slower to digest, and those types of foods release the energy at a steadier rate. So it helps to stabilize blood sugar, stabilize blood glucose, and also stabilize your mood. So things to avoid here are white refined carbohydrates, basically anything that's had the fiber stripped out of it. So foods like your white bread, pizzas, your white rice, stuff like that. So you want to switch from those as much as you can and go for your low GI carbohydrates, such as your whole grain bread. If you eat bread, I don't eat that much bread, but if you do, that would be great. Brown rice, sweet potatoes, pulses, beans, all these kind of things. They're really going to help you to maintain your blood sugar levels so you don't get the spike in your energy and the dip in your energy. You might also find that eating smaller meals on a more regular basis can help with your mood swings and keep them in check as well. Next up is fiber. Now, fiber is a type of carbohydrate that you find in your fruits and veggies and your grains that you cannot digest easily in your tummy. Fiber helps to aid digestion. It's also great because it prevents constipation and it helps you to feel fuller for longer. It also encourages the growth of good bacteria in your gut, which is vitally important for health. Fiber is also associated with a lower risk of heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, and bowel cancer. Again, these are not my views. These are from this book that I've read and from my research. And also the current guidelines here for fiber is that adults should be eating about 30 grams of dietary fiber a day as part of a healthy diet. Now, most people in across the world, but in particular the UK, don't get enough fiber in their diet. Just to put it into context, 2 slices of wholemeal bread contains 5 grams of fiber, and your recommended amount is 30 in a day. So good sources of fiber are, again, your fruits and your veggies, your whole grains, such as your brown rice. Quinoa is really good as well. But it's very important. Again, I was talking to the lovely Joanna today, and I was telling her that when you introduce more fiber into your diet, you need to do it at a much slower pace, because if you suddenly introduce loads of fiber into your diet, it can really cause bloating and tummy pains initially, even though it's really good for you. Your body has to get used to it, so it's better to do it in a slow way. Now, I use a couple of things in terms of fiber, but I'll come on to one of them in a minute. But this one here is just phenomenal to get extra fiber in. It's like an odorless, tasteless fiber that you can put in your smoothies. You can put it in anything you make. Put it in hot or cold food. Sprinkle it on your pasta sauce, whatever it is, and get your extra fiber in, because it will really help with so many areas of your life, not just the menopause. The last one that I'm going to talk about, well, the last couple are omega-3 and then phytoestrogens. Now, omega-3 is a family of fatty acids found in foods and supplements, and there are 3 main types. You've got your ALA, your EPA, and then there's another one. Wait a minute, I'm going to look in the book because I've completely forgotten what it's called. I was going to try to pronounce the long names for them, but I just can't, so I'm not going to, because they're too difficult. So ALA, which is comes from food alone. Then you've got your EPA and DHA. So these can be made from your ALA in your body, and they're also found in food. So there's 3 different types of omega-3. So omega-3 has numerous benefits. It can really help with your mood, it can help with your circulation, it can help with anti-inflammatory things. Things like oily fish, mackerel, salmon are really good sources of omega-3, EPA in particular. So try to eat 1 portion of that every week at least. Now, if you don't eat fish, like I don't, then look for vegetable oils, things like rape seeds, flax seeds. Daughter's calling me again. Don't know if she realizes that I cannot talk right now. And things like nuts, walnuts, pecans, hazelnuts, and green leafy vegetables, or supplements. So I currently take, sorry, it's cut out because of my daughter calling me. I currently take an omega-3, which I get from HealthSpan, but I'm looking to get a different one. So if anyone has a really good vegan omega-3, could you let me know? Because I am looking for a new one. And last up, phytoestrogens. Now, these are plant compounds that are similar in structure to estrogen, that is naturally produced in your body. And they're found in varying degrees in foods. So things like legumes, beans, nuts and seeds. And when we eat phytoestrogens, they're absorbed into our bloodstream. They're attached to the estrogen receptors in our bodies to produce an estrogen-like effect. So ground flaxseed is really good here. You sprinkle it on your breakfast oats, or you can use it to thicken sauces. And that's a really good way to add phytoestrogens into your diet. They can also really help with hot flashes. So if you are somebody that suffers with those, definitely get the phytoestrogens in. However, they are weaker than the normal occurring estrogen in your body, so just bear that in mind. And then there's one more type of phytoestrogen, which is called isoflavone, I think it is. Let me just have a quick look here. The last page. Isoflavones. They're a type of estrogen that you can get as a supplement, but they're not recommended for ladies who have a history of breast cancer, because there's no evidence to support their safety. So that was really the main part of what I was going to talk to you about. Now, there is another section in the book which is all about gut health. I have covered gut health before, so I'm not going to cover that too much, but you can get, in terms of gut health, you can get really good bacteria from prebiotic foods, things like onions, garlic, asparagus, artichokes, bananas, chicory, that kind of thing. They really help promote good bacteria in your gut. It can also help boost your immunity. It can raise your energy levels. And probiotic foods like fermented foods. So I had kimchi rice yesterday, which is great. Anything that's got yeast and bacteria in it is really good for your gut. Things like live yogurts, sauerkraut, kimchi, which I've just mentioned, apple cider vinegar, kombucha, which I absolutely love, which is the fermented tea. I had that earlier. They're really, really good for your tummy, and your tummy is linked to everything. In fact, I have a great audio that was listened to today. It's all about gut health and linked to menopause. So I will share that with anyone who wants that. And yeah, that was really it, really, in terms of gut health. And I know I've covered this before, but I take this gut health product every single day. And literally, do not go a day without it. It's part of my debloat shot. Have it with my greens, which I've got here, which again, I've got lots of phytonutrients in them. And I have it with my skin elixir as well, which is great for my skin health. So just wanted to share that with you all. I hope that you've found something useful from what I've shared with you tonight about menopause. Like I say, I got it all from this book here. Highly recommend getting it. It's by Louise Newson. And I will share the link with the podcast with you all later. But if you want any more advice, let me know. I've also got a Facebook group where I share more great stuff like this for anyone that's on Instagram. I can add you into that. And apart from that, have an absolutely wonderful rest of your day or evening.